Well, this wasn't the video I wanted to come back from break with. Um, the hockey world received some horrible news late last week, which emerged as social media rumors on Thursday night and was eventually confirmed by law enforcement and the NHL the following morning. Johnny Gaudreau passed away the evening of August 29th, along with his younger brother Matt, after being struck by a vehicle while riding their bikes along a road in Old Man's Township, New Jersey, nearby their hometown of Kearney's Point. They were both in town for their younger sister's wedding. Johnny was 31 years old, while Matt was 29. Johnny and Matt played together for a season in Boston College in 2013-14, which was Johnny's senior year and Matt's freshman year. Matt was also briefly in the Calgary Flames farm system for a few weeks, playing 4 AHL games while on a PTO with the Stockton Heat in 2019-20. Matt was a pretty good college player who topped out in pro as a pretty good ECHL level player as well. Then, after he finished playing, he transitioned to coaching after retiring. He was coaching at Gloucester Catholic High School, where both he and Johnny played when they were younger at the time of his passing. I think it's safe to say that Johnny was a better player than Matt. Matt would probably say that. In fact, Matt frequently said that. He was always smaller than everyone else in his age group, but he was also always able to outscore them with his speed and skill. He translated some absolutely gaudy offensive numbers that he posted with Team Comcast and Youth Hockey and Gloucester Catholic into some gaudy USHL numbers with the Dubuque Fighting Saints, which ended up getting him drafted by the Flames in the fourth round in 2011. Then he translated his gaudy USHL numbers into gaudy NCAA numbers, which earned him fame, accolades in college hockey circles, and the nickname of Johnny Hockey. Fan skepticism that he could develop into a prospect of note because of his size was quickly replaced by fan anxieties over whether or not he would sign with the Flames or opt to become a college free agent after 4 years. That skepticism and anxiety was a little bit misplaced because he signed with the Flames prior to the final game of the 2013-14 NHL season, and he made his NHL debut on the final night of that season, Game 82, against Vancouver, scoring his first NHL goal, and eventually became one of the most dominant players in franchise history. For those of you who want to get nerdy, let's jump into the Johnny Gaudreau stats with the Calgary Flames. He played 602 games with the Flames, good for 12th overall. He had 210 goals with the Flames, which places him ninth. His 164 even strength goals is fifth best. 46 power play goals is 18th. His 11 overtime goals is tied with Sean Monahan for first in franchise history. His 41 game-winning goals is fifth. 399 assists places him fifth. 609 career points place him fifth. He's third all-time in even strength points with 438 and 10th all-time in power play points with 171. His plus 85 is tied for 15th overall, and he's one of just 8 Flame skaters who've played over 200 NHL games with the club and maintained a point-per-game pace or higher at scoring. Since the beginning of the 2014-15 season to present day, he is ninth in the National Hockey League in points. I covered Gaudreau for the first 8 seasons he was in the NHL, and while I didn't travel with the team, I chatted with him fairly regularly as part of media duties for the majority of that run. And I always found him a really engaging player, especially in smaller settings outside of scrums. A lot of players don't like scrums because scrums are just kind of an awkward way to speak with people, but in smaller settings with 1 or 2 or 3 of us, I always found him, very engaging and chatty. He seemed to always give a lot of credit for his success to his teammates. He'd often discuss and name drop how good his line mates were, and he was often usually quietly insightful about how plays developed and why plays did or didn't work, and especially talking about what they were trying to accomplish and any gaps they could find. I posted a video on social media about an early play that he and I discussed during his rookie year where he was able to basically set up a tap-in goal on the power play for Dennis Weidman just by throwing the pass to the far post, because based on how they entered the zone and how they were skating, he kind of figured that Weidman would be there. And, that's the kind of player he was. He had the ability to really figure those kind of things out on the fly and just see things that a lot of other players couldn't see. And as a result, he was able to attempt to do things a lot of other players wouldn't attempt to do. No offense to anyone else I ever covered. He's easily the most talented hockey player I've ever had the opportunity to cover regularly. So Obviously, this is a really crappy situation, especially for the families, but also for the fan bases in the cities that Gaudreau played. Folks I talked to in Boston, where he played college, have been taking it hard. Folks in the Philadelphia area, where he grew up and played his minor hockey. Folks obviously here in Calgary, obviously in Columbus. And so it's, obviously a kind of a sad time, but, what's been kind of encouraging and really touching, I think, for a lot of people is sort of seeing the fan reactions to the passings, because, we've seen, impromptu fan shrines emerge in a few different places. There's one at Hollydale Ice Arena in New Jersey, where the home rink where Johnny and Matt got their start. Nationwide Arena out front of that rink, they have a fairly big shrine, and there's, to be blunt, a pretty gargantuan one in Calgary on the steps of the Scotiabank Saddledome. It initially started as a few items that fans left on the steps on Friday morning, and since then, as of late in the day, midday on Monday, it's basically taken over the entire front steps and the entire plaza in front of the arena with jerseys, hats, photos, flowers, Skittles, purple Gatorade, and folks have been leaving sidewalk chalk, and so the entire front area is just filled with heartfelt messages from fans of all ages, talking about what Gaudreau meant to them in their fandom. And I've been down there 3 times over the weekend, and I saw fans in their 40s, 50s, 60s leaving messages. I've seen small children leaving messages. I've seen everywhere in between. So anyone you can imagine that would have had any kind of fan contact with the Flames or Gaudreau over the last 12, 13 years, they're represented down there. It's a really, really amazing thing. And, really, it's something that I think really makes folks in all those cities, New Jersey, Columbus, Calgary, where you could name it, I think it makes folks enormously proud of the hockey fans in those markets, because, this could be, a really negative, sad time. And I think a lot of people have been doing really heartfelt things to try to make it a little bit less so. And, I think that's an amazing thing. A lot of fans have asked me if Gaudreau will be honored by the Flames. The short answer is almost definitely yes, but as mentioned, this is an unprecedented situation, and everyone will need to process the loss before any kind of extensive plans can be made. I think it'd be reasonable to expect some moments of silence and video packages, probably the preseason and regular season home openers. But I don't know if we're going to see anything more elaborate, like a jersey retirement or ceremony or whatever you want to call it. Anything more extensive to honor Gaudreau and both Johnny and Matt until a bit of time has passed and everyone's had a bit of time to heal. There's no playbook for loss like this, and all we can do is hope that everyone's memories of Johnny and Matt's contributions on and off the ice can provide some comfort during this really challenging and difficult time. So, thanks for watching.